Morning. In this week's Parshas Emor, we have a pasuk, "V'nikdashti b'soch b'nei Yisrael," and I will be sanctified amongst b'nei Yisrael, or perhaps I will sanctify myself among b'nei Yisrael, meaning the person himself sanctifies himself to sanctify b'nei Yisrael. And Rashi says, Masur atzmacha v'kadeshimi, that you give yourself over if you want to be sanctified. Meaning, you have to do something. You have to exert yourself in some special way. And each person has their own special ways to exert themselves to become sanctified. There is a title, Hasaraf, fiery angel, that has been given to a number of different Hasidic Rebbes at different times. When the Saraf Strelisk passed away, his son, Reb Shlomo, went to see Rabbi Yisrael of Roshen. Rabbi Yisrael of Roshen was interested to know what special things, tell me something about your father, he said to Reb Shlomo. Reb Shlomo said, there are two things. Before my father ever went to daven, he would go to the kitchen to say goodbye to the Rebbetzin, to his Rebbetzin and all the members of his family, because he had this incredible amount of tevekus, of clinging to God when he davened, and it was possible that he would never return. It wouldn't come down, and he wouldn't see them again. So he wanted to say goodbye before he left to daven, and possibly left this world. And the second thing is, every single time he would say goodbye, he'd say, there is a box of Chidushei Torah that I have, but don't think it's mine. These are Chidushei Torah that I received from my Rebbe, Reb Shlomo Mikarlin. They are his Chidushei Torah. No one should ever say, this is Torah. This is something that I said. When the Rudgener heard these two things, he said, he was very impressed. He said, but I'm more impressed by the second than the first. That he didn't want this Torah ascribed to him only to his Rebbe, that there should never be a attachment of him to something that wasn't him. He could only cling to what was actually his. Another story that surrounds this pasuk is, there was one balabas from the Ir Tomshov, the village Tomshov really, where the Rebbe, Rebbe Nachum Mendel of Kotsk, the famous Kotsker Rebbe was from. And when he heard many years later that the Kotsker Rebbe was a great Rebbe whose learning went from one end of the Jewish world to the other, he was surprised. He said, I learned with him in Cheder. As soon as people found out that this is someone that learned in Cheder with the Kotsker, the Hasidim came, says, tell us about what was special about our Rebbe as a child. Because really, I was never able to see anything. I acted like all the rest of us. There's nothing special, outstanding about him. And the Chassidim continued to press. And finally said, I remember once on Lag BaOmer that the Rebbe was normal. He took us out of school and we went to, play in the fields, play the games, climb a mountain. We climbed to the top of the mountain to see the view. Kids enjoyed the hike. And as we were coming back, the Rebbe counted, the Melamed counted the kids, and there's one missing. They look around, and it's Menachem Mendel, the future Kotsker Rebbe. So we go back looking, trying to find him, and we found him prostrated on the ground, clinging to the ground, repeating the pasuk, Libi uvasari yiranenu el kel chai. My heart and my flesh sings to you, the everlasting, ever-living God. There was a devekus to the Kotzker at the time that wasn't normally visible, but apparently it was very strongly there. And when the Rebbe saw God in nature, he was drawn to it, and he had to sing to it. His whole body had to be filled with the godly presence that he saw as he took his Lag BaOmer walk. All of us on Shabbos should be inspired very much by the things that surround us. We should be able to see what is godly in this, and they should inspire us to draw ourselves closer and closer to Hashem. Everyone should have a wonderful, uplifting Shabbos.